Hello everyone, it's Benny, and as you may know, I haven't really uploaded a video in a while. And the big reason for that is I've been a bit ill, and when I've tried to record, it hasn't been good for my voice, and it just hasn't really worked out. So, what I've actually been doing in my time, I haven't just been ignoring everything, I've actually been working on the 3D engine. I've been preparing the engine for the next set of videos I'm going to do on that, after the Wolf 3D series, so the merger of that and the section after that. Just preparing all the code and seeing how it works out. And since I really don't think my voice can handle actually going in depth and explaining things to you, I'm just going to go ahead and sort of show it off. Sort of just show off a few of the things that I've done. So, if I can't actually go ahead and teach you the things, at least I can show you what I'm going to teach you. So, here, as you see, I've done some of the stuff in the Wolf 3D merger that I said I would do. For example, the game and 3D engine are separate. The game has its test class and chase component sort of helper class, and it's using the engine almost as if it's a library. So, they're completely separated. The game doesn't have to do anything in the 3D engine to actually use it anymore. That's awesome. But what I'm really interested in showing off is the renderer, because I have a new rendering effect. If I run, you see, it looks a little different. I mean, it's drawing a brick wall and whatnot, but it doesn't look like a normal brick wall. In fact, if I zoom out, you notice, hey, there's a perspective effect. So you might think, okay, there's some brick mesh there. I've got big 3D mesh of a brick, but I'm sorry, you'd be wrong. This brick wall you see underneath me, or brick floor, whatever you want to call it, is just two triangles. Everything you see here, the perspective, the I guess you call it smart lighting, I don't know, the lighting that actually reflects the shape of a brick, all that, it's an illusion. It's all calculated in the shader. So, this is just two triangles, and yeah, so this illusion I'm showing you it's called parallax mapping and normal mapping. Parallax mapping is sort of the perspective effect you're seeing with the bricks, where they sort of shift left and right with perspective. And normal mapping is the actual lighting effect, where you see sort of the specular highlight right here. As it goes across the brick, it doesn't sort of light uniformly over all the crevices and such. So yeah, that's normal mapping. And put together, they make this really awesome visual effect, and I know this isn't how bricks would actually look in real life, but I just don't care, because this looks so awesome. The contrast between shadow and specular highlight in this, I love the artistic appeal of this sort of rendering, and I'd love to use this for something. I know it's not realistic, but I just don't care, because it looks that awesome. And yeah, and just to prove to you this really is two triangles, and I'm not BSing this, see my sort of brick cube? It's clearly resting on, well, on this brick and this brick. But if I try going into the crevice between it, it doesn't work. I just clip through it because, well, one moment. Sorry, I had to cough. Because this actually is just two triangles. The perspective effect is just an illusion. And the cool thing is, it's not even a big performance-heavy calculation either. When I look down straight at the ground without the effect, I get like, I don't know, 1120 or 1170 or some odd number of FPS. And as you see right now, I'm getting 1080. Basically no cost to it, and yeah. So I don't know, that's an effect I really want to show off, and the code's really easy. If I go into my fragment shader, you see, right here, 2 lines of code. That's all this is. 1 line for the parallax effect, which is done with the texture coordinates, and 1 for the lighting effect, which is done with the normal. So, there you go. That's all there is to it. Granted, there's a little bit to the to the 2 lines of code, because it requires calculating from a TBN matrix, which is actually calculated in the vertex shader. It's done with the normal and this other piece of information called the tangent, which I'll be talking about in the tutorial. It's calculated like this, so if you know how to calculate tangents and whatnot, you can just copy the shader code, and you can get the effect too if you really want to. But yeah, There's not much to it. It's really easy, and I don't understand why there's not more information on the internet. It's such an easy effect to do that I don't know. But yeah, so just wanted to show that off. I also wanted to show off the components, because everything is high level in the engine now. Everything that actually shows up in the game, like the cube and the floor, they're game objects, and you can add components to them. So for example, I can add this chase component that I have, and if I run, now the cube chases me. So you see, it's chasing me, it's trying to keep facing me. In fact, it even tries to keep sort of the same sort of, I don't know, base orientation, so that if I had like a sprite here, of like a person or something, it would always appear facing the correct direction. It wouldn't like rotate all over the place or something ridiculous. And yeah. So, you can do that. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. And while I'm here, I guess I might as well go over what I'm planning to do as for, well, rendering, because I've done a whole bunch of stuff with rendering. Clearly there's more stuff with rendering. Where does it end? When am I going to be done with rendering and moving on to something like physics or something else? Here's my plan for rendering. There's 3 big things I really am kind of hoping to do before I finish off, although the rendering engine's really pretty much done until I move on to optimization or other fancy effects like that. Here's the thing that I'm really hoping to do before I move on to something else for a while. I'm hoping to do, of course, parallax mapping and normal mapping. I'm hoping to do specular mapping, which basically is a map which tells you where it actually reflects off, and it's really cool because you can sort of paint in like dirt splotches where it doesn't reflect properly, and you can do some really cool stuff with specular mapping. And one moment. Sorry, like I said, got a cough. And where was I? And I'm hoping to get shadow mapping. I'm hoping. I'm not going to promise it because I've tried. For some odd reason, I can't get shadow mapping to work. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but for some odd reason, I just can't get it to work for me. I'm generating the texture. I don't even know why or how it's not generating properly. Like, I think I'm actually doing the calculate from the shadow map properly. It's just generating the shadow map I'm having issues with. For some reason, if I say, okay, I want a camera, look this way. It was like, okay, it looks in a completely different direction. It's like rotated 80 degrees to the side. And I don't know, I don't get it. The same calculation works with non-camera objects, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I really don't know. That's all I can say. I simply don't know. I don't know what's going wrong. I don't know why it's going wrong. So, yeah. I just, for some reason, can't get shadow mapping to work. So, hopefully, I can get shadow mapping working. If not, big whoop, I will just cover it at some later point in the series, hopefully. If I still can't get it to work, oh well, it's only shadow mapping. It's not a huge deal, I guess. Although I guess it does sort of clean up things like this, where you sort of see light from behind because of normal mapping. Like, this would be fixed if you had shadow mapping. You wouldn't see this bizarre lighting effect. But, I'm getting ahead of myself now. So yeah. And those are really the big effects I'm hoping to do before I move on to something else for a while. And one moment, again, sorry about all the pausing. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. So I hope this has at least kept you entertained or something, showed you what I was up to, showed you that I'm not just being a slacker who doesn't care about I don't know if I'd want to call you fans, but, because, I don't know, I don't really think, I sort of associate fans with people who like people for entertainment, so, I don't know. The people who enjoy learning from my videos, there you go. You folks, you know who you are, and you're awesome people. That's right, you. So, hope that keeps you updated. And hope you got something out of this, I don't know. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you whenever I either have something else cool I want to show off, or hopefully I'll get better and I'll actually be able to make a video. So, thank you, and see you then.